All right, guys, so here we are. They're both playing as Vietnamese, so it's their number one pick. That's the only time that you can have the overlap like this with Civ, and it's happened. We've got Hera, world number one, playing as the Vietnamese. Lewis also as the Vietnamese. They know where the opponent's town centers are, and they'll have the exact same bonuses. The true determination of skill. I guess there's also the maps that you could blame, but the Civs, they're going to end up being the same here. Both players kind of positioned off towards this right side, but it's a fun matchup here. I think it's an unfortunate matchup for a Lewis and any Lewis fans because Lewis has been on a really nice trajectory. I'm not sure what's happening with his Dark Age here. That's already a bit of a rough start killing that goat, but he's been in a really nice trajectory in our scene. And then once the bracket came out, it was, well, Lewis likely to face Hera in the second round. But it's a good challenge for him. He's a player who started playing the game in 2022, has risen up to high ranks pretty quickly. And so exciting to watch him progress as a player. But I think Hera will be looking to get some damage in rather quickly here. And I think the difference between these two, and I said this before, Twitch chat's going to be bored because I'm repeating myself, but Lewis loves to wall, okay? And if you look at the latter version of Arabia, the version that Lewis is playing every day, much bigger wood lines, not as punishing in many aspects, very easy to wall. So this isn't saying Lewis can't play open. This isn't saying Lewis can't play aggressive. Obviously, Arabia requires a lot of adaptations in army. But I think Hera has more of an aggressive switch if he needs to turn that on. And this is the type of generation I'm talking about. I mean, there could have a lot of feudal age army come out here. So we'll see. Already, though, I kind of feel like Hera is going to do something that we've been seeing more from some other players. He's got a lot on wood. This, to me, feels like he's going to go for an early barracks. And I also saw Hera's draft. I saw Incas on Hera's draft. I saw Jurchens on Hera's draft. I think there was another one. All civilizations that we'd see this big Dark Age rush with, which some players are doing. I'm actually hoping to make a video on this. It's going to be more focused on chickens because they've added chickens to Arabia and how some players have started this Dark Age militia spam. Would not have really expected that from Hera, but I was just thinking that because he's got so much wood right now. He does see his boar, so he can always take that. There's his barracks. We'll see what he does. Lewis, on the other hand, Lewis went to wood actually rather late compared to a normal timing. He prioritized more food. And Lewis is just pushing in some deer. Or at least he was pushing in some deer. He's pushing in some more deer here. And he'll be clicking up to feudal age. So whatever this build is for Lewis will be fast feudal. Hera knows exactly where the target will be if he's to make militia here. Feels like 2 militia will be coming forward from Hera, at least. But yeah, we've seen 2 militia into fast feudal, into additional 2 militia, into man-at-arms. That's a really good build to stop someone from walling. So if what I'm saying is true, and that's what Lewis thrives on, that could be a good build for Hera. We've also seen, well, maybe not as much now, but some players have been going for 5 militia in Dark Age. Not so much in King of the Desert, though. Yeah, Hera, it just has the 2 militia for now. Saw the wood line from Lewis. And Lewis is on the way to feudal age, and he'll run forward now. Unfortunately for him, the militia will path that way. So he actually won't run into them to know that's coming. He did get loom, though. So I'm sure Hera will be a nerd with this, but he should be able to use the villagers to micro that back. I don't really like drushing the Vietnamese because the idea of a drush is you delay their wood income. And Vietnamese don't spend wood on their eco upgrades and stuff, so it doesn't really like slow down their timings as much. But that's a me thing, and I don't think I'm necessarily in the position to question Hera too much. There are instances, you know, I will still speak my mind on a certain build, but I think the key here is the follow-up feudal age timing, and Hera has a really nice feudal age timing behind this. And Hera already here and already starting to harass. The key for Lewis is you just do not give this too much power. This should not kill any vills. You just have to micro perfectly at all times. That's all. And if your micro is good enough, people won't even attack you. See, Hera's testing him, and Lewis boxes him back. And box him back again. See, Hera's hoping he turns around. Lewis is not even turning around now. I like that. And so far, so good from Lewis. Like I said, you can still get double bit. You can still get your stable timing. There needs to be a spearman here from Lewis to try and take down that scout right now. That is one thing he's missing the wood for. Hera has not gone to gold, so this will not be a follow-up of 2 militia. And sometimes players will open range after they see the 2 militia, expecting the follow-up. That hasn't happened. So the scout opening from Lewis is going to end up being pretty strong here. Lewis, very patient so far. Hera will have that cleaner economy because he had more vills in Dark Age. He will also go for the stable. He'll get both of his eco upgrades. This will be a heavy army game from Hera, who so far has stopped Lewis from having those walls that I talked about. Is Lewis prepared to go full feudal? I don't know if I've seen that. That might be this type of game, which I'm here for. I am here for, man. Yeah, the nice clear up from Lewis so far. Clears up the militia. Hera will argue that that's worth it for the extra efficiency back at home. He's got lots of farms up already. Lewis just delayed his farms a little bit more, and the scouts will go forward for Lewis. So, the thing about the Drush, everyone looks at the militia, okay? But when you go for this build, you have more villagers because you're not advancing to feudal. So you produce, usually it's about 3 more vills in Dark Age versus the guy going feudal. So those 3 more vills bring in the additional resources. Now the advantage for Lewis is he does get his eco upgrades in a little bit faster, so arguably brought in wood, a little bit more wood than Hera or something, but that is why, that and the efficiency is why Hera has a little bit more resources collected. Lewis will see the wood line on the back for Hera. Yeah, that's the explanation. People asking about the res collected. It's overall efficiency, but because he had more vills, because he didn't rush up fast. That's why there's a weakness to rushing up fast. Lewis goes for the kill. That's why I like those uber fast up times. I have people come to me, they're like, T90, what do you think about 14 pop Mongol scouts, bro? And I'm like, you better get some kills, because your eco's not good. But usually, 14, if you can pull off 14 population fast feudal scouts, at most ranks, that is going to be terrifying enough where no one's going to really think about it that way. Lewis's confidence here. He's going for the Vill. He will get the Vill. I like that. And Hera also hoping to get a villager, and Hera will get that as well. So they both trade villager kills. Hera will know, or Lewis will know Hera's on scouts now. And notice, Hera's not walling. Lewis wants to wall a little bit. Hera's no stranger to walling, but I think he's looking at his map right now, and he's thinking, this is like old Arabia. Big armies, lots of scouts, lots of army mobility. This is the opposite of the generation I think Lewis is going to want today. And Hera does have more scouts than him right now. Golds are just looking awful for both. Hera's already switching to gold because he's got the confidence and he's got more scouts around. Hera will be hoping there's not a gold back here. Technically, Lewis could be taking this. Lewis will bring spears and scouts over here. Knows he's vulnerable still, waiting for Hera. Hera will be hoping for more kills. He'll see the villager. He'll see the spears. Well played from Lewis. This is pretty standard stuff for Lewis. Yes, it's hard to do in this map gen. Yes, it can be punished in various ways, but Hera's made it look very easy so far. Lewis has made it look very easy so far, but Hera not too bad as well. Hera might choose to run in here. I think it's too risky, but he really wants some damage. The second that Lewis is walled, Lewis is going to go forward, so Hera needs to be ready to defend, and he's already preemptively towering. Love Hera's food count. I feel like the farming count's perfect to go Castle Age. And there's going to be some archers as well for Hera. Villagers will move off the berries now. Move on to the wood line. He doesn't need the berries anymore. The situation's deceiving. Lewis also has... He's more farms than Hera, actually. But he produced more spearmen, and it takes time for that food income to come in. And he will take this gold. It's a really smart call. Yeah, Hera will play defensive now, essentially. And he will play towards a crossbow timing to win the game in early castle. Lewis could still do some damage here, but should be easy enough for Hera just to drop a wall. Lewis will never engage there because Hera's scouts will come around. He is going to engage. I like that he tried. I like that he double-checked, right? Yeah, he is taking the fight. I want to see more of that from Lewis. Sometimes you just assume, oh, I should never take this fight because it's Hera. But he actually tried. Hera did actually have the scouts there. The amount of times I've seen people not even have their army there, and they just are too scared to take the fight, is too high. Did you see Hera's units just stuck and running in place? Hardy at a treadmill. Hardy's probably won't do it on extras. We have this stupid emote that Hardy added, which I just think is funny. A zebra on a treadmill. 4 archers is a little risky. Surprising that Hera's choosing to move forward with them because Lewis could potentially engage if he was making more scouts, but that's not the case. So nice read from Hera. 2 minutes away from Castle Age for him. Woodline is protected. Needs to keep an eye on these trees for no overchops, but he should do that. And he'll also know now that Lewis is not on this gold. Lewis must be on another gold. He actually backed off here. He's also looking to see what does Lewis have. And oh, there's a hole! There's a hole in Hera's woodline. I'm not sure how that happened. I think when he brought the villagers in from the berries, he forgot to re-wall it there. And Lewis actually runs away there. I mean, he would have lost all of his scouts. He only killed 1 villager. So he didn't want to lose his whole group. Hera was immediately fighting back with vills and doing a very good job at that. But that's nice for Lewis. Could still attack the gate. Could still go in. Hera's like, he'll never do that. The scouts are pretty weak now, though. Hera could be advancing forward now with his archers if he believes that these scouts aren't a problem. Hera's scouts have a lot more value, too. So he'll engage. He gets right in front. Perfect fight for Hera. And, yeah, just I'm wondering how Lewis fares over the next 2 minutes. The next 2 minutes decide a lot here. Now, Hera has already built the tower, so he can't go for a second TC. But he'll have crossbowmen pretty quickly here. And crossbowmen can beat skirm if the skirms are feudal age skirms. And Hera's engaging onto the skirmishers with his scouts. He chooses to fight now, but there's no upgrades on the skirmishers, and it is a complete and utter clear. That is a GG move. Lewis, if he had any chance, he needed his skirms alive. He needed them back at home. He needed to wait. And with the skirmishers, then he could hope to get a lead skirm. Then he could hope to fight this. But Hera just hitting the timing so nicely there. And that's the difference, right? Like, I've seen Hera play defensive so many times. Full boom, super low army. But he also can be really aggressive. Also, if I was the favorite in a set, which doesn't happen that frequently, but okay, there's been some rare instances I am. This is the perfect game one. Because all those doubts that are creeping in the underdog's mind, all those feelings of, you know, whatever the emotions are, it just reminds them like, yep, this is who I am. This is what I can do. Best of luck to you, sir. It really can have an effect on the whole series. So I love the opening from Hera. I love the siege workshop. I like the thought process to not wall heavily. He finds the gold now with this 1 crossbow. Lewis says, the only chance I have is the cheesiest thing in our game right now. He is going to make a siege tower. He is going to make fire lancers. And he is going to try and fire lance siege tower rush Hera. I mean, I don't know what else he could try. We have seen this stuff be annoying. We have seen it somehow work. It can shut down a siege push, actually. But if Hera sees it, it could be a bit of a problem. Lewis didn't actually lose a villager there. Well played. And Hera's got double mangonel. This gets interesting because what you can do with this siege tower is you could shut down a siege and a monk push because you can roll right in, take down the mangonels. Let's see if there's chances here for Lewis. He actually has the villager lead. Definitely some signs that he's a little worried. I mean, that tower kind of makes sense if you think Hera will be there, but Hera was never there. Guys, if Hera loses this fight, under 72 hours, massive clickbait video, on how OP these Siege Tower and Fire Lancers are. Hera wins the fight. That might take a week. But, oh god, oh god, oh god, Hera, be careful! Be careful! He could have lost his crossbows there. The Siege Tower rolls in. And again, this is really broken. You could just roll in. You could clear the full Mangonel push. And now you could just roll away. It is crazy strong. It is comically fast. And maybe that gives Lewis some chances. But what Lewis needed to take down the crossbows. It is OP, by the way. Like, I'm personally planning a video on this. It might take me like a week or two. But this is absolutely insane. And obviously, if you've been watching King of the Desert, not the first time we've seen it. They see me rolling. Like, come on. This can't be normal. This can't be normal. Underneath the TC, pops out, attacks the farmers, back out, you know, rolling over to the wood line now. Meanwhile, Lewis is going for the kill. Lewis will take down the siege workshop, so Hera can't defend with mangonels. Now, if he hops over there, oh, he's just trapped himself. If he hops over there, he can't get back inside the tower. And Hera should be able to kill these Fire Lancers now. Lewis made the mistake of using a siege tower for what the siege tower was designed to do, guys. Big mistake. Using the siege tower to send units over top of walls, horrible decision. Using a siege tower as a taxi to send units around the map at lightning quick speeds, that is how the siege tower should be used, apparently. Down goes the tower, down goes the Lancers. Hera still pushing the TC here, and Lewis is, to his credit, still at a decent villager count, but he still has this seemingly never-ending situation with pressure from Hera on the front of his base. That's sick, though. I mean, without the Fire Lancer Siege Tower, this game's so over. That's the only way that he had any chances to hold on here. Lewis is all over this gold, all over this wood line. If Hera ever moves over there, Hera will deny that. Hera needs to send some pressure back to this gold, in my opinion, with something. But he also knows that taking down a town center is pretty damn good as well. Now, what you could try is you could add a couple knights to attack the siege tower, but the siege tower is so fast it runs away from the knights. And then the Lancers are designed to kill knights. Yeah, but Hera knows about that now. Look at the amount of fear one siege tower puts in Hera there. Like, he's terrified. They're so tanky. There it goes. Hera gets the attack rounds. And unfortunately, the units will not escape this time. Big mangonel shot from Hera, though. Hera's hoping to get the kills on the crossbows. Can he get it? He cannot get it. He does clear up all the siege again. Oh my god, that's insane. But the GG's called. Yeah, so broken strat, maybe. The Fire Lancers and the siege towers. But Hera just stayed consistent with it. Well played. I think for me, the key in that game was how Hera played feudal. Hera he played very confident. He didn't play towards walls. He played towards army, played towards really clean eco. And the castle age timing was sick. The transition into crossbow was amazing. And Lewis it wasn't even on his mind that Hera was going to fight him here. Losing those, 7 skirms, 8 skirms or something? I guess it was only 5. But I mean, at that point, you could still plan around making more skirms, still playing defensively. The castle age time from Hera was awesome. Really nice to see how he dealt with the siege tower shenanigans as well. At 2040 castle age time against 2206. So yeah, first game was a quick one. They're now getting into game number 2. And again, we've got Burgundians on Arabia. So back to what we just said, especially now, the Burgundians want that wallable Arabia gen. Lewis is taking some risks. He's hoping that he can get some easy walls. And honestly, this isn't bad. This is not bad, right? He's got the wood line here. Could wall this way to this wood line. He's got this wood line here. He could wall this way. He's got some really nice options as far as the walls. I'm still not in love with Burgundians. I think the plan is actually to make some Flemish militia, kind of like Nikov did earlier. But Burgundians, high risk, high reward. So he either gets completely wrecked, or things fall into place, his economy is good, and he ends up getting some wins against Hera here. So, and I think you should do that. I think viewers don't necessarily understand. Like, here's a question, guys. Would you rather, let's say you're Lewis, okay? Would you rather give yourself a 5% chance to win the series, but get 1 win in the series and lose 3-1? Or would you rather give yourself a 10% chance to win the series or a 20% chance to win the series, but if you don't win, you get dominated 3-0? Which would you prefer? Because it used to be like, okay, you get 1 win. Oh, that's super nice. You could build confidence on that. But, like, you still lose the series. It doesn't change anything. You just had 1 extra game, 1 more hour out of your day. But you guys would want that 1 win. So for me, I'm approaching this as a player, and this will differ from the player, but I'm thinking I'm doing everything I can to win the series. I'm playing to win the series, not to win 1 game. And so with that, that's why I think you pick Burgundians, because it's a little bit riskier. You're hoping for a couple different things. So here's the barracks now from Hera. Now, Armenians from Hera is the last thing that I expected. But if he wants to play infantry again, it's a pretty damn good civ. He went for the 2 militia build last time. He's going to go for the 2 militia build this time. I don't think Hera was ever going to go for the church rush or anything, but we might see some churches in Castle Age if the game progresses more naturally. Lewis going to stick to his build, try and go fast feudal, avoid the infantry. But here, I think there's a very real chance that Hera doesn't follow this up with scouts later. I would guess that Hera's plan is to go into additional militia and man-at-arms, and maybe even longswords. Hera's map is pretty decent, but it's open on the front, but the golds and the wood lines on the back are pretty nice to work with. Lewis's map is way easier to wall. Lewis is just trying to push in that extra little mouflon there, and Hera's here to harass, and Hera's here with the militia already. So another game, Hera with the early harass. And this time, can Hera get a villager kill? He can get a villager kill. Lewis didn't pull the villager away. That's exactly what Hera wanted. Hera will be right behind him to feudal. That hit quickly, guys. The 2 militia were there so freaking quick. So now Lewis down a Vil. I think maybe we'll see Vils go to gold. Maybe the plan is still Flemish militia to fight this back. Hera with another clean build. And yeah, Hera is on gold. So I still think Hera will maybe add a 3rd militia. I'm not sure, though. I think he might not have the food to get his eco upgrades. And if that's the case, he might not add it. Just trying to analyze his build here. It could kind of be either way right now. Thanks again, everybody. I know I haven't gotten to everyone today. Hard for me, too. But thank you for being here. I've been seeing some first-time chatters. And then viewers who've been around all week. Appreciate this. Appreciate it a lot. It's been a lot of fun. Also, shout out to Memb again for hosting the event. It's been a good event so far. I'm sure you guys would agree. Appreciate him and his team's efforts. Yeah, so Hera is adding more units behind this. This just suits the Armenians because of their bonuses. And Lewis will add the Flemish militia. If you were to rank the Flemish militia's wardrobe on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you guys give it? Looks like a candy cane. It looks like a freaking candy cane, man. Okay, you guys like it. Big fan of candy canes, huh? All right. Well, as we said before, they've got nice stats. And if you can take the fight before man-at-arms, this is fantastic. Lewis, he saw the haters. He saw the doubters anyways. And he gets the kills. Hera cancels man-at-arms. That's not the timing he would have wanted. That was very well played there from Lewis. The beauty of the Flemish militia, you just make them right away. You don't need an upgrade like you do for man-at-arms. And now Lewis is Burgundian, so he could greed out with eco upgrades. Get Bowsaw here would be key. Horse Collar's nice. It's still cheaper, but like Bowsaw is a Castle Age upgrade that you can get. I think that has to be priority right now. Arthur, I'm not really sure. If Memb reaches out, Maybe we can get some casting together. I'm not sure on his plans. Not going to interfere. He knows to contact me. Lots of stuff going on right now, but might happen. Probably have Dave in here again to cast. I've been enjoying the solo cast. Games have been good. I've still got so many little tidbits of info to give you guys about some builds that we haven't seen yet. Super pumped about that. What was Hera doing out here with one archer? Very rarely do you see such a kind of a lackluster decision from Hera. He doesn't have his scout, so I guess maybe that's part of it, but he knew his opponent was on a range. He just went forward with one archer, and that's another unit down. And now Lewis could, again, boom up, wall up, which is the key for Lewis. He's got a better map generation for it. Can Lewis take this lead and run with it? Like, if Hera was in this position, this game would be over in 10 or 12 minutes time. He's got, maybe not over, but still, I mean, we saw the previous game, right? I think Hera might need to sneak now. If the skirmishers are here and he's walled, sneaking would be the play. This build just did not work out for Hera the way he wanted. Lewis needs to keep a close eye on that archer range because the archers are moving out. Will Lewis know about that? Anytime your opponent's walled and you're on skirm, the second your army's here, they're always going to go forward. Lewis should sense this, and he should just patrol his skirmishers in the gaps at home. So I think he's still fine, but Hera's going to be desperate for some damage so he can breathe a little bit. The Flemish militia still in production for Lewis. He should end up being walled. Still don't love the fact he doesn't have Bowsaw, but I guess I do love the fact that he's got horse color on these farms. I do love his army composition, and he will continue to think about moving forward. There's the skirmishers there in the perfect position for Lewis. Hera tried it. Hera tried it, but Lewis knows about the sneak. And even with no fletching, Lewis kills off an archer. Night and day difference between game 1 and game 2 here. Like, Hera felt like he was faster in the first game. Felt like he was confident in the first game. And ever since that one fight, he hasn't been able to turn it around here. It's not really anything Hera's doing wrong now. He's just in a worse position. Lewis is attacking the farms, too, just to disrupt the farmers. If farmers are being attacked, they'll still farm. But if their farms are being attacked, they go on strike. They just stop. So it's cheesy, but it's a good way to punish someone for not having army, is you just attack their farms and not the farmers. Lewis still chasing this down. Lewis made a lot of extra Flemish militia, which was a surprise to me. They're going to be forward here in a second. Do Burgundians get arson? They do. I mean, I wouldn't hate it to apply some pressure on the house, maybe. Hera's eco-management has been really good considering he was pushed off the berries. Remember, he didn't lose a Ville, and Lewis did. And Hera is going to add scouts behind this. This is where Lewis, again, needs to have that sense. But it's harder to know there's going to be scouts because Hera has everything he needs back here. If the player doesn't have their golds, you know they're going to add something more than what they're doing. But Hera has gold. Hera could just be on the way to Castle Age. Hera's archers sitting inside the TC. He knows all the HP of these units out here, and he's just hoping to whittle them down. Hera will be much later to Castle Age, but he's about to take the fight. A fight that I don't think Lewis is expecting. Lewis is bringing more skirmishers forward as the scouts arrive, and Hera is jumping on them here. If the Flemish militia are taken out, the skirms are going to be taken out as well, and that's precisely what will happen. Hera will gain the map control back, and Lewis will lose all of his military here. Hopefully he could kill one more archer, but oof. I think Lewis will be really frustrated there. I think that he might be kicking himself a little bit because that is expected in some ways. There's like a 50-50 chance, but the bright side is he's walled. He'll be in Castle Age way faster, and he can just make skirms behind the walls and still stabilize from this position. So the scouts are only a problem if he's not walled. So that's acceptable. Because you won the fights before, you're in a better position to take these fights now. Is Lewis going to go for another siege tower? Lewis is going to go for another siege tower. Hera knows he's late to Castle Age. We've got the market now. Buys and sells the res. MBL's in chat. MBL, did you tell him to do this? Because last night, I saw you with Flemish Militia and Siege Towers. MBL says, yep. Oh my god. MBL says, Lewis, you must spam the Siege Towers in your series today. Okay. Well, if Lewis loses, it's MBL to blame. It is actually really good, though. And like, Hera is open on the front. The Siege Tower could get in. This could be sick. If Lewis wins, no credit to Lewis, right? Full credit to MBL. Did Hera see the flag? Okay, so I know this is kind of new. Like, new-ish. But Hera needs to know now. Like, what happened in the previous game? You got Siege Tower. You see a flag. That's more Flemish Militia. So Hera has to be fully walled and double layered in all areas. You can't let the Siege Tower roll under. You can't let the Siege Tower eject units on the other side. Yeah, and there they are. Oh, my God. Dude, that's so many. How fast do these things produce? You just don't see people make these that frequently. The people are catching on now, and there they go. There's our 9 out of 10 wardrobe weird tin hat dudes. And, yeah, Siege Tower is going to follow it up. Hera backs up. Hera will drop double monastery behind. His plan is maybe to have the churches as defense. He'll go crossbowman, he'll go bodkin. Good against the Flemish Militia. Because the Flemish Militia are low HP. But not if the Siege Tower can roll right past the archers. Also second TC for Lewis, so this isn't all in. He will boom. And, yeah, he just needs to get his infantry inside the tower. Might need another tower, man. Choo-choo! See you later, Hera! See you later, bro! See ya! You might not like it, but this is peak AoE. This is present day AoE. Players are complaining about this stuff so much. It really is obnoxious. I will agree with that. Hera has to house wall everything. He has to quick wall because those militia are going to get through. Hera's quick walling has been great. It feels like it's impossible to take down the tower. So far, so good for Hera, but that's a lot of work. And now Lewis is booming. Lewis is 3 TC booming as Hera is trying to put out fires with these random siege towers in his base. Hera's making some warrior priests. Amazing that Hera hasn't taken more damage, but the eco for Lewis is going to be completely untouched. He can snag relics, maybe. There's so many good things that are happening for Lewis just because he rolled through. It's so fast, dude. It is so fast. But Hera's not even chasing it. He knows that it also means that if he's too far away from his base, he can have problems. There's still more of them. There's going to be a second shipment of Flemish militia here. Now, small detail, but Hera has scouts on the map. They're around the relics. He obviously wants those relics. Lewis is trying to bring one in. That's amazing from Hera that he's able to track that. The siege tower under the TC. Hera looks like he's having fun. Lewis just rolls away again. Monk went down for Lewis right in front of the monastery. Well played, Hera. And now, Hera, how are you going to deal with 2 towers? When you guys loaded up today, if I would have said today you're going to watch the 2 towers, you would have thought you were watching something very different than this series. But nope. In Age of Empires 2, we've got our own version of the 2 towers. And the Flemish militia get wrecked. They get wrecked. Hera's just waited. He's like, come on, hop out of that tower, bro. And good luck escaping. Damn. I mean, warrior priests are insane. The devs also buffed this. Warrior priests have crazy stats compared to a Flemish militia. So it's a good unit for Hera to have out here. Eventually, Lewis is going to have to actually, like, fight Hera head on. That's not what this is designed to do. This is designed to give him the lead, which he will have economically. But well played from Lewis. The warrior priests attack. The warrior priests also heal. And then the churches give you the free relic. Hera already has 4 relics. Hera needs his own siege tower to chase down this siege tower. No joke. That's the meta, guys. The way to counter the siege tower is to make your own siege tower. Like, it would be hilarious. I don't think he'll do it. He's just waiting for the siege tower to eventually die, and then he can kill the units. I mean, Lewis might need to try and escape with these things. And on the front, Lewis is going to have some siege ready to go. Hera is still boxing the siege tower, and Hera will kill it. And honestly, so well played. This stuff is so freaking annoying, what Lewis is doing. It normally disrupts your entire boom. But it hasn't really affected Hera that much. That's impressive. Also, did Hera steal? I don't know if he stole that relic, but he's about to get relic number 5. So he's been able to get 5 relics. He's cleared up everything in the back of his base. Now he has his work cut out for him here. I think Hera should make monks. Wait, no! Hera should make his own siege tower. Make his own siege tower and then just roll in and kill this. With the warrior priest. That's what he should do. Just make your own siege tower. Like, there's no risk. Well, let's see. Micro's coming in. Hera doesn't have ballistics yet, but the warrior priest should be really good. Siege is normally a counter. Hera hasn't even taken down the siege yet, but the micro's too good. He says, get out of here with this crap, Lewis. Lewis's siege tower is here to save these units, but this has been a complete and utter slaughter again. Hera's playing amazing. He could have gone for monks to get redemption to convert the siege. He could have made a siege tower. He just said, nah, let's just run up the hill and fight it. I appreciate the attempt from Lewis. I mean, it's been 2 games where he's tried something a little bit different. But Hera just able to shrug it off like it's nothing here. That's crazy, man. To have this economy under that much duress is so wild. Like, he's playing extremely sharp. And there's still a little... Okay, Taxi's gone back to the front. But the problem is the units can't win fights. And Warrior Priests actually take down the Taxis. I think if Lewis was going to win this game, he needed to switch out of the Taxi strategy much earlier. But I'm sure in the back of his head, he had MBL saying... You know, he was thinking about it. MBL's like, keep doing it. Keep making it. But it's not a bad suggestion from MBL because it could be really annoying. A lot of people are still on 1 TC against 3 here. But Hera's going to be on 4 now. And Hera's got all these relics. Like, how do you get the villagers out? Also get the relics. Also have 40 army. Also get all your eco upgrades. Also get, you know, the military upgrades too. It's ridiculous. We have a mistake from Hera. Should have had a siege tower. Still a really nice position. And his army is still going to continue to be warrior priests. Guys, I have a stat for you, okay? Now, I have not confirmed this. This was told to me by Phosphorus, okay? Now, I forget if it was two-handed swordsman or champion, but apparently a warrior priest will win the 1v1. And, a Castle Age warrior priest, I think is what I heard, can win the 1v1 against two-handed swordsman and a champion. It might be a champion. Okay, Phosphorus in chat. Is it a Castle Age? Or is it just Imp? Is it Imp versus Imp? Because they also have Feriders with the additional HP. I mean, this has been extremely strong for a long time. The devs made it cheaper. I was shocked by it. Clearly, they want to see more of them. They got their wish. A Castle Age one. A Castle Age one can beat a champion? I'm sorry. I'm going to trust Phosphorus on this because he's probably made more of this unit and more of these churches than anyone. Well, that is ridiculous if so. I mean, kind of makes sense, though. 11 base attacks starting fresh from Castle Age. And then you have 95 HP. Lewis is aiming for a really ambitious castle. His Cavalier could not get close enough. This is a doubt castle if I've ever seen it. Hera completely clears the fight. I think. I mean, Lewis needed something. So, you know, he tried. But not enough. Yeah, Lewis can't kill this army. Castle Age Cavalier. I guess you'd need more numbers there. It would be wise from Hera to add a few monks there, too, so you can get conversions, but... Yeah, Lewis Lewis has probably realized now that's probably all she wrote for the game. Look at the score. Hera should actually... Oh, that's Cilician Fleet. Never mind. So he would have to go Imp for the next upgrade. Oh, I mean, when he's there, I think his army can still stay the same. You don't have to switch to champions when the Warrior Priests are this cheap. And think about the... Like, what is the one big weakness of champion? You have to get all the upgrades. Right? You have to go from Man-at-Arms all the way to champ. It's like 4 upgrades or something. Warrior Priest, you just make instantly. Lewis tries to fight. That's not it, man. That's not it. I think where Lewis is from, they would say that fight is shite. And yeah, he tried to complete the castle again. That gets denied again. Looking extremely difficult to turn this around. Fight was shite kind of had a ring to it. I might use that more frequently. I need to practice my my British lingo before the Red Bull event in London. I gotta somehow find something that rhymes with bollocks. What, does someone research stirrups? Stirrups? Bollocks? I'll work on it. I'll work on it. Lewis can't fight the main army. He's got Cavalier on the left side now. He's going to be relic heisted now. I mean, Hera's about to have 8 relics. Just walking back to his base. No big deal. See you later. See you later. Thank you for the relics. Cavalier raid. I don't think Hera was expecting this. Lewis is frolicking. Frolics? Lewis frolics? That does rhyme with that, but no. I mean, this is a good raid. This is the first real raid that he's had since the Siege Towers. Cavalier in the north. Cavalier here. He does have this gold, which I guess Hera never reacted to. But Hera's about to be an imp. Warrior Priest OP confirmed. But also, Hera is a little bit OP as well. That might have something to do with it. But he's spamming these things everywhere. And now he can get Feriders. So with Feriders, you get plus 30 HP, and you actually heal 100% faster. So, I think Hera should take down the castle. I wouldn't even be troll. You don't have siege yet, so just, I don't know, maybe 2 castles would be kind of tricky. Right now, he's just putting out the fire with these raids. Lewis is still fighting here. Hera knows it's 2 castles. Kind of ambitious to go for both, but if you think you've got the win, you already have 8 relics, you could consider it. It would drop a castle here to steal this gold as well. And he'll drop a castle here, just to defend from the raids mainly. Because the Cavaliers still are faster. I don't think, by the way, like, I don't think Hera's toying with him or trolling with him. I think that this is actually how the Armenians should be played now. Maybe they should have been played this way before. Like, with the cost reduction, and considering the rest of the Armenian tech tree is awkward to use, Lewis deletes his stables, even though they weren't even being converted. He just heard the conversion from the monk and deleted them. Yeah, it's insane. 125 HP. So yeah, this TC is going to be gone, and Lewis calls the GG. Yeah, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Again, though, like, I actually think Lewis's strat is sick. I think it was really interesting. And obviously, the units die to the Warrior Priests. He probably wasn't expecting that, but that's not even why I think this strategy's good. I think this strategy's good because normally this gets some damage, okay? And then normally you can't... The player is not on Bowsaw and Wheelbarrow. A player is not on 3 relics at this time. A player is not getting the 3rd TC up at this time. Like, all of this stuff that happened here does not normally happen because the craziness of the rush. Even this, right? Like, you know, Hera's confidence to just run up the hill and just smash that is because he just feels he can do no wrong. But I think that was a good attempt from Lewis, but Hera just... He's just the best right now, man. He's just the best, and he's showing us with unique things. So that was crazy. And so yeah, Lewis down 2 games. Lewis, of course, needs to get a win at some point. All right, game 3. So when I saw Incas, I thought Hera might go heavy militia in Dark Age. He has drushed in both games so far. So he seems to at least think that 2 militia is worth it. They are both positioned kind of towards the middle or left of the map here. Lots of little hills everywhere. Berries could be awkward against some pressure for Hera. Both maps pretty open. So this reminds me of game number 1. Neither player has a very easy wall. This should be heavier feudal age army than we saw in game 2. But Incas just have such nice bonuses here. They start with the free llama. So Hera's already eaten that. Also, you have more pop space on your houses, which essentially means you have such crazy wood savings, so you can go for tighter builds. But yeah, Hera will probably consider it. I think we'll see the 2 militia again, and then he'll adapt into Man-at-Arms, just like he tried in the previous game. And then Lewis, maybe this will be the first game that he goes for Man-at-Arms. I feel like I would definitely want to go Man-at-Arms on this map. Again, it's open. It's awkward. Lewis will still find a way to wall it, probably. But... oh, man, I just put myself into Lewis's shoes for a second. Just thinking about how I would feel after that previous game. And how my emotions would affect my decision making. It's going to be hard to think that anything you try here can work, but you have to fight that stuff, and you have to try and just play your best opening. Stick to your training, stick to your instincts. But yeah, I think Lewis's map, if I had to choose one, is superior. Wall here, wall towards the gold. You essentially have berries as your only exposed resource. Actually, Hera can do the same thing. Wall towards the TC, wall to the woodlines. Yeah, it's similar. Never mind. Lewis will push in his final deer. Hera, and we'll probably have his barracks coming up rather soon, if my prediction's correct. But it could still just be a mining camp on gold, or a mill on the berries there. And Hera will find Lewis's berries are on the front. I also know that Lewis isn't on them yet. And we'll look around for the woodline right now. Thank you, Idafix. Appreciate it. He says, it's fun to see that chat was hoping for 2 days to see Lewis give Hera some struggles, but reality is reality. Reality is reality. Yup. I mean, that's been the case in a lot of sets where Hera plays people over the last few years. So, you know, I host a tournament, won a really big competitive final, 5-0. And I sit there and I say, well, reality is reality. So he is just that good right now. That's the reality. Barracks on the way for Hera. And so I expect the 2 militia again. And barracks is on the way for Lewis. Could add the 2 militia. This feels like he was planning on Man-at-Arms, but maybe he switches it up a little bit when he sees Hera's Eagle here. I think it'd make you more comfortable to make 2 militia. Hera's actually not doing it this time. And Lewis is not either. But Lewis is going to think he is, right? Mentally, Lewis thinks that Hera's drushing. Because Hera's score is higher after the scouting, and because Hera's done that 2 straight games. Yo, Arsenico, thank you. Keeper of Souls, welcome back. Grunty First Aid, Sapient, Keeper, already thanked you, Keeper. Polished Poo is rooting for Lewis. Thank you for the 3 months. Hopefully Lewis can get some fans with some better names, dude. Sorry, never mind. Your name is fantastic. At least it's Polished Poo and not the alternative. Thanks, guys. Lots of Twitch primes. Check your primes, guys. Don't send it to me. Send it to Memb, the host of the event. Either way, don't let it sit. Don't let Jeff Bezos count a couple extra bucks in his pocket. Lewis. No. Oh, Scout takes some hits. I think Lewis was attacking the Eagle here. And Lewis will see it's 4 militia for Hera. So that's one way to beat the Japanese infantry, is make 1 more unit. I think Hera might just engage on this. Yeah. But Lewis shouldn't take any engagements until he's in feudal. He should add a 4th militia. He does. It still will be Lewis in more of a defensive position. And Man-at-Arms is on the way for both now. So eco transitions after 4 militia, not easy. Both civs have some bonuses that make this a little easier. Japanese with the cheaper lumber camps, mining camps, mills. Incas with the houses. But pay attention to their eco upgrades. This is pretty awkward to even get double bit. And the berries are exposed for Hera. He's still not out there yet, and Lewis is. So, would slightly prefer Lewis's position economically. Then again, he's out of the sheep underneath the TC. There are some minor differences here. Range is up for Hera. Range is coming up for Lewis at the same time. So they're kind of dead even right now. But, I mean, this is Japanese Man-at-Arms on the hill. Hera needs that mill to complete before he can even build a farm. Lewis should make Hera's life hell trying to complete this right now. But it's so close to the town center. He takes the fight. All of his units were attacking. It's Japanese. Hera's fighting back with Vils. And the Vils do a decent job. I think Lewis will be okay with that. He killed 1 villager there. I don't even know if he knows he killed the Vil. But if you look, you can see him. And Hera just has 1 man-at-arm left over. That's fine. You kill the villager. You trade against the man-at-arms. You're now on archers. Hera's going to go for the walls. And the big walls at that. Lewis will probably do the same. That's what Lewis... That was the thing that I expected to see from Lewis's. He'll play well if he can get those walls up. But right now, Hera doesn't have any army in production. So now he'll see archers with the man-at-arm. Hera has no army. He didn't make a single archer. I think his plan is just to get the skirms out now that he sees 2 archers. But Lewis doesn't have scouting, so Lewis is going to think that Hera is going to sneak or something. Lewis just has to go forward. Look, Hera didn't even make a skirm. Dude, if he could make nothing and then Lewis is paranoid, that'd be crazy. Kind of smart, though. I mean, you're walled, so those archers aren't going to do a damn thing. Now he can make a skirm or 2. I think he should idle or at least just drop off some res to get double bit X, though. That's a big thing that Hera's forgotten. It's understandable that he missed it off the build, but Lewis has gotten it now. DeGost says, why are pro farms always so ugly? Aw, DeGost, you shouldn't have said that. Aw, you called me a pro. Thanks, bro. That's super nice of you. Here, I didn't think you thought that highly of me. Aw, thanks so much. It's about the number of farms you have, guys, all right? Hera's farms are fine. They're fine, all right? I'll defend him. He'll make fun of my farms every opportunity he gets, because that's what people do, but these are fine. Lewis's farms look a little bit better, though. Gotta admit. There will always be some gaps. Yeah, Hera just made 1 skirm in there. And Lewis, he didn't even see the skirm. He went to the wood line, and he just moved away. This is Hera in his head right now. He's just fully expecting Hera to have army. And Hera's like, nope, no army. Just 1 skirm. I'm going to macro my way to Castle H. Like, Lewis's army could be harassing the berries. It could be harassing the wood line. But because he's expecting something from Hera, he hasn't even seen the archer range. He thinks in a normal game that Hera would have blacksmith upgrades and skirms, right? I mean, Hera will make more, but essentially he's saving resources right now. Yeah, this is good, though. Now you're at least applying some pressure. You're going to make Hera show what he's got, but Hera can make a couple skirms in no time, and Hera will be fine. And then Hera can fight this back. I know this game hasn't been as exciting as the first 2. We had a lot more army in that game. I think mid-games, where it's just skirmishers and archers, can kind of slow down the game. But Castle Age can usually be pretty intense off these. Remember, skirmishers are cheaper for the Incas. All military units cost less food. Skirmishers do cost food. And now the classic situation is that, like, Hera's basically had nothing, and now he pops out with enough skirms, and now suddenly he's got enough. Lewis doesn't lose anything, though. Man-at-Arms wouldn't add any value here for Lewis. It would just delay your Castle Age. Hera would still hit and run you with skirms. If he still had leftover Man-at-Arms, it would have changed the entire game. Hera would have probably made more army than he did. But Hera knows he's fine. Walls are looking pretty smooth. Both players will click up towards Castle Age. The economy for Lewis, pretty good behind this. And it feels like it's going to be a skirm war. The Japanese could go knights in a skirm war. The Incas could go eagles. But I really don't expect that. Also, does the game say that Hera has less elo than it did in game number 1? It has less for Lewis as well. They both lost elo playing, according to Capture Age. I think Capture Age picks up on the wrong stats sometimes. But yeah, Lewis, this is a big underdog story here. Hera up 2-0 because Hera is currently lower than Lewis's elo. Really cool to see this unestablished player who's never done anything in AoE, Hera. You know, this noob. Get some wins off such a top 5 talent like Lewis. Impressive. I mean, we're talking minor things. Hera's healing up his skirm inside the TC. I've seen this before, though. Hera, this is a game where Hera will boom. I would expect. He's got good resources for it. Maybe he rushes ballistics. Maybe we should see some siege. I feel like this hill is key. Siege from here, siege from the middle here. It could be good for either player, but Lewis just stayed here for too long. Guess he didn't expect Hera to have those numbers. A little surprised that Hera hasn't continually chased this down, considering the numbers difference. I feel like he should jump on this. And that's what he's doing now. And kills off the archer. We see bloodlines now for Lewis. So he's giving up on skirms. Almost looks like his plan is to go cav archers. If you get bloodlines and then you have a second range hidden behind, that normally means cav archers. But against skirmishers, I don't like that. I also don't like this. That will be 3 free kills for Hera. Hera's got to be really confused right now. I think he's going to assume Lewis is going knights. But cav archers against skirms? That is... I mean, maybe it'll confuse Hera, but, like, that's weird. Hera will see that stable, and he'll think there's going to be, like, 2 knights, 2 stable knights or something, but he'll just back off for now, because there will be 1 knight. Lewis did get a nice little tour of Hera's base. Hera's like, here's my gold, here's my wood, there's my stone. Hope you enjoy my base. And Monastery comes up for Hera, which Lewis will see. Hera needs some monks with the skirmishers here. And he actually canceled Elite Skirmisher for now. But he canceled Elite Skirm because it's so damn confusing that someone would go cav archers. So Lewis next level. Lewis is like, if I go for cav archers, he won't get Elite Skirm. Because no one ever goes cav archers here. I wouldn't agree that going cav archers is automatic. I agree that Japanese cav archers are really strong. And yes, they have a bonus for it. I wouldn't agree that it's like clear as day to do in this situation. I would have loved to see skirms and knights. This is going to be really awkward for Lewis. He's trying a forward siege workshop. The monk will go for a conversion. The monk doesn't get the conversion. Hera doesn't have elite skirm. The siege workshop might go up for Lewis. Man, that's crazy value for Lewis. Oh, that's so good. Even just completing the siege workshop is huge. Yeah, so siege workshop's up. We'll see if he can protect it now. I think Hera might want to consider guard tower defense here. Tower right here on this, where this farm was. And a quick university for guard tower. I think Tata would consider that. That's not something you see Hera do that frequently. But you have cheap towers. You're already on stone. The other option for you could be to plan around going redemption to convert the siege, but you can't drop the tower now. That you had a chance there. You had to commit to it earlier. I think now Hera's game plan is going to be a castle. Lewis has killed 2 villagers from Hera now. 2 TCs for Lewis. Full map control from Lewis. Hera's greed to sit back without map control got punished. If he had elite skirm, I think he could have even killed the knight. There's no armor on that knight. Hera just able to escape there. He adds his own siege workshop from this side. Lewis should always stay to a hill, in my opinion, with the siege now. And there's a lot of hills. Siege tower Kameyuk? That would be rather funny. Hera's villager is what? Did you see that? Looks like he tried to run with the Vil even after deleting the lumber camp, and the villagers were like stuck there. Maybe it was somehow stuck between the siege workshop and the trees. But that's 4 villagers down for Hera. It feels inevitable when you watch this guy play, but he has been greedy here, and Lewis kills another monk. And Lewis still has a siege here. Lewis will drop the 3rd TC now, too. And Hera converted a knight over on this side. But not a bad situation for Lewis at all. Hera's still saving for a castle, but you have to win a fight to find the spot for a castle. Hera's now housed as well, and Hera will castle here. That is not a castle that you want to place, but it's a castle you have to place. Funnily enough, I think we could see Siege Tower in a couple Kameyuks. Lewis has to be extremely careful. He really wanted to deny that castle, but the siege got too close to the town center and that shot. And now he'll refocus. He'll void the left side. He'll focus from this hill onto the monastery and the siege workshop. Game's still pretty adaptable for Hera. That protects his TC. Come on, Hera. Make a siege tower, man. Make a siege tower. Siege tower and a couple Kameyuks. Don't think he's going to do it. Dude, Lewis is playing great. 3 town centers. And this might go in where I think it's a pretty even matchup. I think Samurai can be really good in this matchup. I'm also a big fan, so would love to see some Samurai, but that'll be rather tough to justify right now with nothing on stone. Might honestly just come down to the Trebuchet War, where Japanese could also have the advantage. Oh, the micro's crazy. Eagle pops out of the barracks. Big attack round from Lewis. It's coming home. It's coming home. I know it's the round of 32, and I know he's, he's just got one big moment, but I think it's coming home, guys. I think it's coming home. That was huge. Again, Hera's greed has gotten punished. I was so impressed that he was able to bait Lewis into making all that additional army, but the army is working for Lewis right now. My God, that was ridiculous. And what's Hera gonna do? Like, what can he do? I think Siege Tower Kameyuk. He needs a way to get close to the mangonels and snipe them. And if he does that, then it's okay. Then he can play Skirm still. He will drop another TC over here. Lewis could play towards the imp timing right now. I see him shifting to stone, so that's definitely on his mind. Not sure about that university. It's still denied. Lewis, I think he got really nervous right there. I could be wrong, but that shot right there would make my heart skip a beat. Because you're like, holy crap, am I doing it? When you have no hope, when you think you're just dead anyways, then the nerves aren't really there. But the second a big moment happens, you're like, oh crap, I should win now. It's the hope that kills you. And it's the mangonels he needs. Oh, God. Oh, my God. The micro was dirty, dude. Well played, Lewis. That was sick. All 3 mangonels were weak. Hera could have killed 3 there. Instead, he gets 0. Hera can build another castle. I think he might just want to drop one on the left. It's risky, but the micro over here has Lewis distracted. Again, Lewis has to be careful. But he knows that one mangonel is weak. He'll take that. Still continually repairing here. Still adding mangonels. University's still not completed, but it's okay. I never completed university either. Big shots again from Lewis. Big shots. Honestly, this is maybe castle in the face territory. Castle between these TCs. Game over. 3-1 Lewis. Does he do it? Does he bring villagers forward? Okay, there's the university. Hera can't get any value from his monks right now because those cav archers are just everywhere. Another snipe from Lewis. This is the Lewis that people were hyped about. This is the Lewis that people felt so bad for when they saw the bracket and they thought they might face Hera in the round of 32. There's another castle from Hera to hold on. Lewis didn't see it in time, so that castle's going to go up. Now you play towards the trebuchets and the imp timing. But, you know, if Hera goes imp first and Lewis still tries to go forward, this could get really bad. And Lewis is going to lose all of his siege. He loses the entirety of the push trying to stop the castle that was already going to complete. That is a costly loss. Yeah, so Lewis wants to play Trebor. He's now lost his army. And Hera's already on the way to imp with 2 castles. This is so far from over. Defensive castle's good for Lewis. Like, in a weird way, losing that army was probably good. Because if he didn't lose some of the mangonels, Hera would just treb down his forward castle anyways. But I think you have to play other areas of the map now if you're Lewis. Hera has no army over here, and he's placing that castle. That would need to be denied. Over here, outposting. Finding information over here. Stopping those stones and golds is huge. Lewis will trade 1-for-1 with the mangonels. He does actually see this castle with the monk right now. But Hera's got skirmishers near enough where he should be able to do something. He didn't see the monk, though. So he doesn't know he's spotted. Lewis should stop that. Lewis should deny that castle. He doesn't see it. He doesn't see it at all. He didn't notice it. Now he does. Now he does. It's better to deny a castle at 80% than it is to deny it at 20% because they get less stone back. Deny it, deny it, deny it, deny it. Hera has no armor. Incavilles eventually get the armor. Nice job from Lewis. Nice find. He'll stop this for now. This will probably complete later on for Hera, but it won't complete for now. And another castle from Lewis on this side. Hera has a really adaptable spot here, though. He's got plenty of gold in his base. He's got 3 defensive castles. And it's Hera. He's outposting that right side, but Lewis is starting to look over there now. Hera is not mining any more stone. He's finally out of his stone, and this stone here is the stone that's closest to him. I would just play full skirm and a couple slingers, and then full trebs for Hera. You need to respect the infantry switch eventually from Japanese, and that's why you need the slingers. And there's the samurai from Lewis. 4th TC. Also, Hera's villagers out here were deleted because Lewis was starting to convert them. Lewis is starting to surround Hera now to see if Hera's expanded at all. An outpost just littering the map all over for vision. Hera will see the castle. Oh, Hera, 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 react! Yeah, Hera loses a couple skirms. More than a couple skirms. That's nice value for Lewis. These castles are far enough away where it's really tough for Hera to engage without an army protecting it. He'd have to sit out here. That's too far away. He'd have to sit here. That's too far away. Lewis is going to go Elite Samurai, guys. Let's go. Elite Samurai, so good here. His economy is pretty good as well. And he should have more gold available to him around the map. More stone available for more castles. Hera's getting Andean Sling now. So there's no minimum range on the skirms. You also get that extra attack for slingers. But Hera needs slingers. Like, how many ranges does Hera have? He just has 2. He really needs to have, like, 4 or 5 archer ranges producing right now. I don't know if skirms alone is going to be enough. But he might force Lewis into engagements right now. I don't know, though. Just 2 trebuchets from Hera is too little. In the north, we still just have a random knight. We just have a random villager. We just have outposts that's not really army. Hera cannot push uphill against 2 trebuchets. Especially as Lewis almost gets the kill there. Especially if Lewis gets Kataparuto. Guys, should Lewis make a siege tower? There's a lot of things to manage. But I think there's a very strong argument to roll into town with a siege tower. Just based on what we've seen. The fact that Hera is just freely mining this stone this entire time is criminal, though. Lewis finds it now. He can't believe it. And he'll get some kills. But the skirms will come over. Elite Kameyuk for Hera. They've just advanced with their capes and the feathers on their pointy sticks. Hera does have 3 castles. Kameyuks are really good with that extra range. If Hera maxes out and Lewis maxes out, I would still prefer Lewis's army comp, but we haven't seen Elite Samurai yet from Lewis. So he's advancing forward with regular Samurai. They do have Imp armor, but he's going to go for it anyways. He's not that far off from Elite. I would love to see that upgrade. He's going to go in. He's got his Trebs. He has Kataparuto. They will unpack like instantly. Boom. And Hera has no time to react. That's the game plan from Lewis. He's also starting to tower this hill. Hera's castle will go down. There's no chance. Hera could lose his Trebs as well. Are there enough Samurai for Lewis? And are they good enough without the Elite upgrade? I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Hera still doesn't have full blacksmith upgrades. Hera's under a lot of pressure here. I don't know. There are slingers behind this, though. And the Samurai just melted. Luckily, with Kataparuto, you can just back away. Guys, fighting before Elite Samurai had to have been a mistake. I think he got so excited. It's such a big boost. There it is now. Yeah. MBL in chat. He says, Lewis was trolling the first 2 games. Now he turns on the turbo. All right, let's go. I like it. Find you someone in life that believes in you like MBL believes in Lewis. MBL, I've known you for like 15 years, and you've never said words so nicely about my gameplay. What? We'll talk later. Castle for Hera on the left is also going to go down now. Hera just has to react constantly, which is a problem. The castle on the right for Lewis will also go down. But Lewis has already taken that gold. Lewis is already very happy with that. This feels like this never-ending cycle of death for Hera, where he tries to survive, but he can never get the map. And the 3 castles in the middle for Lewis are going to be perfect. There's the Elite Samurai. They've got their flags as they march through. They're going to charge in. They get a bit of a speed boost, I think it is. Here we go. Initially, I was a little bummed by the changes for the Samurai, but I really like them now. I like what they've done with them. Pretty cool. I mean, the Trebs are just going to take another castle. This is unstoppable. Hera can't stop this from happening. But he's also built what feels like endless amounts of castles. Like, there's still 3 more castles for Hera. I think Hera didn't know what unit to make this game. He wasn't even committed to skirms when I thought he was going to commit to skirms. He just seems very stuck on what unit to make, and I think he thought that his highest chance was with Elite Kameyuk. And Kameyuks aren't really that great against Samurai. Lewis was just so far ahead of him, he had to try. We do have Hera pushing this castle now. That's one that I would expect Lewis to keep up. But Hera's still taking so many losses on the sides. He is taking golds here. Lewis will build another castle here. Remember, this King of the Desert generation has more neutral stone and more neutral gold than your average map. And sometimes more relics. Lewis is going to lose all of his Cav Archers. If he loses all of his Cav Archers, he could actually have some big problems. You need to have the Cav Archers out there too. And Lewis loses his middle castle. Lewis is still pushing Hera on the left side, but Hera could push the middle. Lewis will just replace that castle with towers. Yeah, Lewis needs skirms. The slingers are a really good unique unit for the Incas. They have a big bonus against infantry. So you need skirmishers for that. Yasama keeps really tough to push if you're Hera. It just takes so long to take them down. I think if Lewis goes on the left with the Samurai now, Hera doesn't have enough slingers there. But amazing fight from Hera. Seriously. To still be at 180 pop is crazy. He's extremely tough to kill. But I think even Hera should go down now. I think. Lewis just deleted some vills or lost some vills. I think he deleted them because he was overboomed a little. Like, come on, Lewis. Like, let's go, Lewis. I don't think anyone, even if you're a big Hera fan, would disagree with getting more games here. It would also just be so good for him. Because he's played with control the whole game. The opening, Castle Age. But it's 200 pop for both. Hera has a significantly bigger army. And Lewis is still deleting more vills so he can match it. Hera's still taking gold. Hera still has a lot on food, but he's slowly losing the left side of his base. Lewis is slow creeping now. This is kind of what the Japanese are best at. I, for one, love to see Japanese on infantry and towers and trebs instead of like a big ball of cav archers. I feel like, at least in my mind, this has always been what the Japanese land identity is. This is cool to see. Hera will need these buildings. Hera will need the town centers. But the towers aren't up yet for Lewis. There are some slingers back there. There are some Kameyuks for the trebs. Hera's killing off, or losing some of his slingers, though, to the skirmishers. I still think that's fine for Lewis. He didn't lose all of his trebuchets. He still has the position. He's still trying to hold in the middle now with the skirmishers and towers. There's only 8,000 gold left on the map. Hera's got 600 there. There's then 1,000 here. The rest of it is with Lewis. There's this here too. So Lewis will have more gold and Lewis has the relics. There's no more stone on the map, which makes towers kind of expensive. But I mean, good luck pushing all these keeps. The left side is unpushable if you're Hera. You has to go middle. And you have to go middle now. Also, Lewis, I think, tried to click the TC, and he clicked past the TC. Whoops. It happens. Left side will be raided. Skirms will die. But Hera doesn't really need army there. He needs the army here. Lewis is just picking off these slingers one by one. And then waiting for Samurai to kill what's left. Hera with another TC. Just trying to sneak around here because he's running out of wood. He's still running out of space. And Lewis is still continuing the little crawl of towers and trebs on this side too, which is sick. I love how he stalled out the middle. He's had to work so hard to do this, but Hera just still can't push it, and Hera still can't react to this well enough. Now, Lewis should probably put a stop to this. Again, Slinger's still in the back there, but Lewis is just repairing towers. He's bought so much stone here. He's bought so much stone. The price of stone must be crazy. He just spent 1,000 gold to buy more stone. He's diving, though. He'll snipe the skirms. He'll take a treb. Sorry, not the skirms, but the slingers. I mean, eventually Hera shouldn't even be able to make skirms here. Because he won't be able to rebuild ranges. He won't be able to reseed farms. And then it's just a skirm war that Lewis can win because he can make more. Damn, are these towers strong. I think we're finally at a point where Hera's population will fall. This whole time he's been losing units, but he's been able to just replace them quickly. But this is no longer an economy that will do that. He'll try and farm. Hey, look, haha, T90 farm. You guys wouldn't even blink twice. If that's Hera doing that, it's fine. If I do that, everyone makes a joke. But, I mean, that obviously isn't very efficient. Here we go. He's got some farms over here, but that's super exposed. Lewis is going to win. He just lost all of his samurai to have a chance at sniping a treb, but he gets it. Lewis is going to win. Still pushing on the left. He has broken Hera. Hera, a little too greedy there, maybe. A little too greedy. I mean, I could be wrong, but I still feel pretty spot on with my assessment of the situation earlier. Lewis going cav archers when his opponent had that many skirms didn't feel like a great call. But I think Hera never expected Cav Archers because it's not the standard play. He never upgraded his army, and then he wasn't ready, and then the siege went up, and the siege was really the key. Now, look at this. If this is Elite Skirm with Bodkin, okay, I don't think the Siege Workshop goes up. Elite Skirm can kill a knight with no armor. You don't even need the conversion. 3 Cav Archers is not enough. So what went wrong for Hera was canceling Elite Skirm and just not denying this. This was extremely bold. This was on his face. He saw it, but he couldn't get the engagement. Also, if Hera's lucky here and gets this conversion, that also means maybe that knight kills that villager and the Siege Workshop doesn't go up. So it was a bit risky from Lewis, but it ended up working out. And obviously he had to fight really, 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 really hard for that moment, or for the whole win. But that was really where it all started, as far as I'm concerned. People want to see damage from the towers. 45 kills on the towers, 8,000 damage dealt. That's pretty worth it if you ask me. And also the fact that Hera just spent so much time not being able to advance up the hill was also worth it as well. So, great game. Great game. I'm sure Hera will want to bounce back quickly. If Lewis can win the next one, would be something else here. We had a reverse sweep yesterday. Lewis, more of every resource. Great KD. Everything looked super smooth. All right, game 4. I think these are the 2 best archer civs in the game right now. There are some others that come into the conversation, but Ethiopians, a civ that hasn't been changed in a long time, they don't need to be. You don't see them picked as frequently, but I think they're extremely underrated. Archers fire 18% faster. You also get the extra gold and the extra food when you make it to each age. Hera can use that. The weakness for the Ethiopians is, if the ranged units don't work, they're usually just kind of stuck. Their cavalry isn't that great. I mean, they do have options there too, I suppose, but it's just not what you want, right? And I think people don't play Ethiopians because of their cav being weak, and maybe because it's predictable. Lewis has the Shu. Now, this is a new civ, and the Shu were recently nerfed, but I still think they're top tier. I haven't played them enough or seen them enough to really get a vibe on, are they still overpowered? Are they balanced? But generating food in addition to wood is the main reason I consider them strong. That, in combination with the archer technologies being cheaper, means you can have tons on wood, a lot on gold. You can still have good food eco, and then spam those archers and skirms. So, having said that, if you want the gold, not a very good map for Lewis. In fact, this is probably the hardest map to play out of all the generations we've seen. This is definitely the more open version. And I felt in game number 1 that Hera loved the open generation. He went for a crazy army, and he ended the game pretty quickly there. So this is definitely a generation I prefer Hera on. Hera's gone Drush every game, right? No, he went Man-at-Arms last game. He didn't go for the militia, but it would be expected for him to have the option to go for Man-at-Arms again, and it's a really good map for it. So getting the extra food and the extra gold means you can actually skip over taking some gold to even get Man-at-Arms. It's kind of like free Man-at-Arms upgrade plus some. But yeah, the way it worked for the Shu before was they had, I think it was 10%. Was the food bonus from caking wood. Might have even been like higher than that initially. I think they moved it down to 7. So they definitely nerfed that. Shu are also pretty one-sided. They're more one-sided than the Ethiopians. I would struggle more with this civ than Ethiopians if the ranged units weren't working. So I would go skirms, archers, mangonels. Skirms, archers, mangonels. And if skirms, archers, and mangonels doesn't work, you know what you do after that? You need more skirms, more archers, and more mangonels. That's how you play the Shu. I guess you could occasionally make a war chariot out of the siege workshop. I guess also their unique units kind of cool, and there are some niche situations. But I was gonna say Lewis isn't really one to go unique units. He did just win the previous game with Samurai, so I guess there's a time and a place, right? T90, Yo said Ethiopians was a miserable pick for Hera. Big Copper, there is not a player in the top level of our scene whose draft has looked quite as confusing as Mr. Yo's over the years, at least compared to the way other pro players go. Like, Yo picked Frank's second, which is the first time I've seen that in 3 or 4 years. Granted, it worked for him. It really comes down to comfort at a certain point. Yo loves his cav civs. Yo loves his farms. Yo loves his stables. Hera, he's no stranger to that as well, but I think he can make Ethiopians work. It's funny to me, though. Everyone's always, like, saying that's such a Yo thing to do, right? Now, I want to see Hera play fully open and build outposts. That would make me so happy, because Ethiopian outposts give you extra line of sight and they don't cost stone. So outpost here, outpost here, outpost here. And then you don't need to wall. Your eco's super efficient, and then you can play full army. Would love to see that. Also, tiny detail. Hera walked out with a villager there. He collected 10 gold from that gold to give him 60. It's 60 gold to make 3 militia. Also the food, obviously. When he reaches feudal, he will receive the plus 100 food, plus 100 gold, thus giving him the gold to go for man-at-arms. And then he doesn't have to stay on gold, and he could maybe even go scouts. So man-at-arms into scouts, which is not normal flow of the game. Lewis is going to go for scouts. I think he saw this gold and did not have a lot of faith, and he sees the barracks, and he's probably wondering if Hera's coming forward with man-at-arms now, which we know will be the case. So infantry opening every single game for Hera now, and not for Lewis. And Hera just acts like he's going to attack there. It slows Lewis down a little bit. Lewis will go for scouts. But you can also get arson here if you're Hera, right? Okay, he's going to go to gold anyways. But arson is an option. When you've got all these hills here, it could be extremely difficult to defend this. I think Lewis needs an archery range very quickly here. This is a risky game to play without any ranged units. I'm not in love with the scout opening in some ways for a civ, but also I like the idea of trying to get some early pressure in against Hera. Because if he can get some Vil picks, he'll be happy. Get some nice hits there on the scout with the spearman. So far, the man-at-arms haven't gotten any kills. Hera doesn't have the spearman in the right position. And that's with a hill bonus. That should be a Vil kill for Lewis. Hype train is rolling for Lewis right now, guys. Lewis. He would not have gotten that kill without the scout opening. It was really fast forward. Nice defense. Walls are perfect everywhere. Archer range is coming up. And Lewis goes back in. He's 2 villagers up on Hera right now. 2 villagers up on Hera. And Hera had idled TC for 20 seconds. So Hera's down 3 vills. Is the comeback on for Lewis right now? Just feels to me like Hera's opening has done so little, right? He's done so little, and he's had to work so hard compared to Lewis, who's kept it simple with the walls. Still surprised Hera never went for arson, because I think he'd be through these walls so much faster. I feel like arson is something you should consider. Now that there's enough spears and walls out, Lewis should just come home, use his scouts with his skirmishers, clear this, and then he can expand a little bit. Now, Hera had the gold for arson. How much gold is arson? 25 gold. He had 60 gold. So it was an option for him. He made the spearman. He definitely had the gold for it, but I don't think he considered the value there. It probably leads to a similar situation where he doesn't get in. But at one point, he took a palisade down, and Lewis had to quickly re-wall it, so it was through already. This is now the time where, as we see the engagement, I don't think that's a good engagement for Lewis because the man-at-arms were all fighting, but he wants to be done with this. I think that's fine for Hera. He essentially kills all the scouts. But Lewis should wall now. You've killed 2 vills, sorry. You don't know you're up 3. Wall this way, wall back here, and then you can take this gold. Without this gold, you can be okay still. And you just need to have one scout. You need to know where Hera is at all times. You need to know, does he have archers in that archer range? Losing the scout would be painful for Lewis to make the proper decisions. And Hera knows it, but Lewis backs away. Super smooth. Super smooth. Walls on the backside for Lewis. Eco seems to be flying. No big mistakes. No questions. He actually sniped Hera's scout there as well. I looked away. Hera will have to play towards Castle Age timing. So here's a situation similar to last game. It's like Lewis is on full skirm. Hera doesn't have any scouting. If the opponent's on full skirm, you might want to consider just not making archers. This is why Mr. Yo might think Ethiopians is bad, because if you get into this state, all you do is still go archers with your Civ. Option number 1 for Hera is make archers, and then you go stable. So you go crossbow knight. I like that. Option number 2 for Hera is you go siege and crossbows, and I like that too. There is a window where you can move forward with the archers, and you can still get away from the skirms, but it's risky with no scouting, so I think Hera will sit back. He's going to play all in now. Sell that stone to reach the Castle Age timing, and you still have a window to win in Castle Age. No, option 3 is not Torsen engines. That's like option 12. That's down the line. That is 1,000 food, 600 gold, bro. But, you know, maybe it'll be on Hera's mind. I'm going to guess that that's not on Hera's mind, but maybe you're right. But, guys, Lewis is expecting a scout follow-up from Hera. He's making spearmen. He's making spearmen, and he's made more skirms. He's expecting a stable now, because that's what happened in the Armenian game. Scouting can be so critical. I would have loved for him to at least advance forward, but I think he didn't advance out because he wasn't walled yet. He is on the gold in the back. He will still be up. And Hera's going to sneak right now. Honestly, I think Hera... This might be weirdly enough to open up the opportunity for the other archers to go to the left. Because sneaking to the right side doesn't do anything, really. Unless you think he's on this gold, which I guess you don't know. But this could be pretty sick, because Lewis will go chase these archers down, and then the others can eject from the range and move over to the wood line. But Lewis needed to be up to Castle Age at a competitive time. He maybe overmade some units here. See how he defends this. The next minute and a half are key for Hera, and he does have the stable behind. Yeah, I personally like this a lot. I think getting the Siege Workshop can be after you take the map back. Defensive Siege Workshops feel really painful at this level. Almost always you see the Siege Workshops on the front. So you make the first 2 knights, you get crossbow, Lewis will back up now. Now we might see Hera send a villager forward. Lewis got to go in there with his skirm, so he sees the stable, which is nice. Hera's over here. No way he runs under, right? Nah, he just sits here, and now he can camp those farms, and now he's chasing these skirms, and Lewis is still 30 seconds from being up, but Lewis jumps on the army before the upgrades. Hera never expected that. Now, you have to make more skirms, because you're going to lose a lot of your skirms here, but that was a really nice fight for Lewis. Hera never expected that. I expect to see the villager forward now for Hera. Pretty soon, anyways. Lewis's micro is so good here. That's so good. It gave him some seconds there to back away. Now Elite Skirm's on the way. He's over-queued Vills, which is a sign of nerves. He needs the food for upgrades right now. He's got 7 Vills in queue. Yeah, he definitely needs the upgrades. He's adding a town center. Wow. I mean, the town center does kind of protect the woodline and the golds. Elite Skirm's still on the way. The firing speed for Ethiopians is special. Hera's Siege is from home, and it's going to be rolling forward here. Is there a reason why one shouldn't have outposts all along the map with Ethiopians right now? Outpost here, outpost through the middle, everywhere. You can see the whole map. And it doesn't cost stone. I feel like it's an underrated play. Lewis really needs his own siege. If he can get his siege workshop up on this hill, that would be huge. But the concern here is the second TC. That is a lot of eco focus. But he is defended nicely. He has the eco lead for now. That will only grow. And Hera cancels the idea of that monastery. Scout will find the siege workshop. To be expected, but he doesn't see the siege yet. Lewis should probably add his own siege workshop, but maybe with a couple knights or He Guang here, he could kill that because Hera doesn't have the monks yet. Hera's just going to focus down these buildings now. Lewis will have to micro his way around all of this. I think he's still extremely paranoid. Maybe Lewis could use an outpost. He's extremely paranoid about that angle because that's the only angle he has wood. And he will run out of wood fast. Hera will not. Hera's got a lot of back wood lines. The more I look at it, Lewis's map is brutal. Like this is a really tough map to play against Hera. That's crazy. Okay, Cab pops out. Cab pops out. The micro's good to the sides as well, but Hera lands an attack round. Hera snipes the Cav. It's so weak with the shoe. You don't get bloodlines. It's barely a shoe. It's a sandal. It's so weak against the archers, and the skirmishers are running. Can he make it into the town center? Split. Save yourself. Ugh. That wasn't great. That wasn't great. That's good. That's a big shot, but that's an uphill hit. His stable's gone now. Well, still a villager lead for Lewis. But he needs trees. And even here, like, that's a ripoff. Hera needs repairs, though. Oh, that was so good. That reminded me of Lewis's micro in the previous game. Oh, that again was good. That again was good for Hera. He deletes the knight. He lands a shot. And now he lands an attack round, which takes the mangonel to 3 HP. Ah. The highlight was denied there. But that was still good enough engagement for Hera. I think Hera will buy stone now and boom. He's done enough fighting. He's got good damage. He buys stone. He'll drop the second TC. He's on the hill. This is the main goal. You don't need to push anymore. You've done enough damage. Lewis can't counterattack you. Now you can boom. I think third TC is a bit of ways away, though. But the hills are just so valuable here to these fights. The main thing that Hera's missing is still the repair villager. And without the repair villager, he could still have some issues. Cannot allow that villager, this siege to be weak. That's a pikeman. I thought it was going to be a vill. Lewis is running out of wood, man. He's running out of wood. He doesn't have a market to buy wood. Hera's split micro is too good. Gets another engagement. And Lewis, I think, will really regret the eco focus. The second TC. Hera's aggression has been amazing in early Castle Age. The early knight, the early crossbows, the siege follow-up has been sick. This is a siege follow-up. This is siege pressure from him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. From home. Siege Workshop's 8 HP, by the way. I can't even see the HP bar on it. I could see it. Never mind. Third TC now from Hera. He's getting the relics. It's still a competitive game if Lewis can get some army out again. Split micro from Hera's ridiculous. And the crossbows can do it alone. And Lewis still has that mangonel, but he needs another siege workshop. And he has no wood. There's no freaking wood. Okay, he's got that wood. Not very efficient, but it's something. Hera's pressure is just constant here. It just doesn't stop. And he takes down another mangonel. This is, like, the reason Mystery O or other people, like, don't like the Ethiopians here at a high level is because your archers die and your push stops and you struggle. But if your push never stops, the Civ's pretty damn good. If you can go continuous pressure, it's crazy. It's so deadly. This is without ballistics. Hera sees the tower. Hera sees the monks. We'll chase down the monks. We'll chase down the skirm. Still pressuring the TC from the hill. A certain amount of crossbows go over for the monks. He'll get the monks, which means the knights won't be converted on the raids. Oh, God. And if Hera runs to the north, Hera's got to be thinking he doesn't have wood. There's no way Lewis is over here. He's got to be thinking there's no wood villagers here. And he finds them. Oh, no. That's so bad for Lewis. It's not coming home. There's now the stupid cliff there, too. The cliff makes it so brutal to get your army there. Hera can just run around and weave his way back into your eco. Vill count's still even, though. That's the crazy thing. Lewis is so good because he should be super uber over the top dead. But not having a wood line is always going to make life complicated. And Hera knows those villagers are just running around right now. Now, what's really incredible is you look back at Hera's eco and just how balanced it is. That's not normal. That's a check him PC type of situation. But we know he's fast. And even though his archers have died in the back, he's still got good value from the whole engagement. And Lewis is still stuck here with a couple stumps for trees and no map control on a pretty brutally open map. You know what Lewis should do? No joke. I'm not trolling. Drop off the stone with these vills, loop them, and drop a castle here. I think that's... Like, what else do you do? If you sit at home, you play siege defense with crappy wood lines and no army. You need a castle on Hera's face? Oh! Okay, there it is! Let's go, Lewis! That's it, man. That's the only way he wins. Because you can't build the defensive castle to defend this crap. You gotta go forward. That's a good game sense. It might end horribly for him, but that is exactly what he needs. Damn. I mean, is Hera going to expect that? If only... This kills me so much. If only your Civ had a bonus for vision, Hera. If only your outpost didn't cost stone. It bothers me so freaking much, man. You got outposts all around the map in late stages. But, like, right now, it's super eerily quiet, and we don't have a single one? Here comes Lewis, winner of sudden disaster, so he knows about sudden death. Uh-oh, does Hera see it? Does Hera see it? There's a monk there. Hera saw it. Hera saw it. Hera's already building his castle here. And Lewis is gonna castle there. That's so funny, dude. That's so good. That's so good. That castle's going up, guys. I don't know if it's winnable after the castle goes up because he still has big problems, but he can take wood and gold over here. He's kind of denying some gold from Hera. I mean, Hera could just come over here and build a castle now and take this gold. But this is good because it takes control away from Hera for once, and it makes things awkward. He also has an army over here to raid Hera as Hera wants to expand that way. Hera does see this. I think Hera's still okay here, but Lewis has landed a big shot. And it's just not enough. Just not enough. Hera should play crossbowman still into some trebs for this castle. He already has a castle nearby. He just needs to stick to the same thing he's doing, but Lewis has made him work for it. It's just that Lewis is so far away from him. He needs lots of kills, and he needs them now. Hey, an outpost for Hera. Let's go. Look at the vision on this thing. Bam. Crazy. I think that's without Town Watch. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's with Town Watch. Yeah, Hera actually doesn't have a wood line right now, which is kind of wild. He's buying some wood. He has a very small army. So, Lewis is going to drop another castle now. Because why not? And he's going to drop it there. Oh, I don't know about that, bro. Underneath the enemy castle? I think, if anything, I would have said drop it here in between the two TCs. But, I mean, you got to try something. That's the situation we're in. And that certainly is something. But completing this castle just to see Hera in the Imperial Age is not going to be a very good situation. Apparently ads are playing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I ran as many ads as I could in between games. Twitch is being stupid. Enjoy the ads. My bad. Didn't try and do that. Hera will have his Treb out now. Lewis is going to attempt to click up to the Imperial Age. Lewis will click up to the Imperial Age. But in what town center? In that town center? I don't even know if that TC stays up, dude. But he's got to try something. And certainly both players are dancing here. Who can micro better? Lewis or Hera? Looks like Lewis so far. But Hera doesn't have imp upgrades yet. Research ballistics, they say. It's a good upgrade, they say. Get thumb ring, they say. It's a helpful upgrade, they say. Yeah. He'll win it anyways. Hera will win the fight anyways. He's got his Treb here. He's actually really badly housed right now. Damn, Lewis's micro is next level there. It's real. Must be really annoying for Hera because he hasn't placed any houses or anything. Calm down, nerd. Calm down, Lewis. 2 crossbows to win the game. If he can just kill 133 more units, it's game over. Oh, okay. That was sick, though. That was really sick. Hera will lose some of his crossbows on the front. Lewis is repairing. Lewis has rams? I mean, Hera has been an imp for a super long time and is just now getting imp upgrades. He loses his mangonels? Okay. I mean, he still only has 1 on food. So, but he's got 41 on wood, and he's the shoe. So, hopefully, as Hera will add some Shotel warriors to try and save this castle from the rams. Very speedy rams, I might add. Hopefully, the food in comes enough from the wood chopping. Hera's trying. Hera's going to lose his castle? No, that's good micro from the Shotels. In and out of the castles. Really creative. Another castle on the left from Hera, who still only has 10 army. We have traction trebs now from Lewis immediately. Man, I really love how Lewis has played this game after basically being dead. Valiant effort. He has such a weak economy compared to Hera. He has to kill him. And he has to kill him now. Hera will keep his castle up. Lewis will lose his castle. The traction trebs are the only hope for Lewis now. He does have an army to find some damage over here with bracer crossbows. Hera has Vils exposed there. Really, Lewis needs the traction trebs over to the left side, but he needs protection for them now as he's dropping towers. I mean, it's 20 crossbows for Lewis. Hera's fighting back with villagers here. His villagers are getting slaughtered. Hera's got his crossbows here. The crossbows are getting slaughtered by the traction trebs in the towers. Hera has no gold income right now. Hera has 0 on he's got 1 on gold. He's got her. And the relics are on the front. Lewis just needs wood and gold. He needs traction trebs and he needs crossbows. And Hera he isn't making skirms. He hasn't gotten arbalest. Traction trebs beat trebuchets. Traction trebs beat bombard cannon, in my opinion. Maybe this is winnable. He's going to lose another castle. Again, wood is so bad. The map looks so barren over there for Lewis. Hera's got wood lines for days, and he's used them with 50 villager lead now. But Hera needs military. He needs upgrades. He doesn't have any armor either. Like, I think Hera, because of the castle and because of the micro from Lewis, kind of froze for a couple minutes compared to what we're used to. It's just weird, but I actually think this is winnable for Lewis. I don't think the percentages are very high because it's Hera and the eco, but traction trebs should be really strong. Really tough to push because they outrange the bombard cannons and they can outmaneuver trebs. So they nerfed these traction trebs recently because they're good against units. They're still good against units. Hera needs a counterattack, but like counterattack is kind of tough when he's stuck in his base right now. And more raids happening from Lewis. What is happening? It's like Hera's population keeps going up, but I'm not seeing him take any good engagements. Here we go. See how these traction trebs perform. Hera's skirms have no armor. Hera's bombard cannons here to kill a traction treb. That's the first time Lewis has seen a bombard cannon. He's not aware it's there. He loses one traction. He loses a lot of his arbs. Hera has 15 more skirms in queue. The bombard cannon lands another nice shot. That's hard to do. Yeah, I think Hera can get his gold back. Hera's getting his upgrades in. Hera's going to essentially have like 50 skirmishers soon. And then maybe he can even dive underneath the towers. Meanwhile, Lewis is 4 on food. He's going to build another TC. This is what his eco looks like. He still hasn't taken his main gold. He's going to build a 3rd TC. And yeah, where's Torsen Engines, guys? Sorry, where's the Torsen Engines chatter? Are you still here? Because we might actually get there. Thing is, Hera will run out of golds because he doesn't have the map, and Lewis has taken a lot of the gold from him. But that could be fun to see. I think at the very least he needs siege engineers right now. But yeah, I hate playing against traction trebs. I think they're simultaneously one of the strongest and weakest things in the game at the same time. Like, if you don't get the right position with them, they feel like they're crap. But if you have them against bombard cannons, they're incredible. Also, we are learning just how important armor upgrades are on skirmishers as Hera continues to lose skirms, but he can make more of them. He also found some villagers on that gold there. But yeah, they traded a bombard cannon for a traction trap. Lewis still kind of pushing, question mark, but I think Lewis is gonna run out of steam pretty soon here. The villager difference is too significant. Hera has 4 relics. Lewis is fixing that food eco, but food eco for what? Your own skirms, maybe? I mean, I guess. If Hera gets anything back here, Lewis has basically no defense for it. But he's still fixing his macro. He's still just hoping to defend. And he is going to go for Elite Showtells. I don't think Elite Showtells is a move that he would do if the game was, in his mind, extremely close. I could be wrong. But I think Hera wants to win this series with style. It is a unit that is extremely strong if it gets in close to anything it touches. And Hera's got the castles, and he's got the eco for it now. And he's just showing no fear with these skirms. Maybe should show a little bit of fear with these skirms. But the goal should be to kill the Arbalest, and then the Showtells can kill everything else. Trebs go down. Here come the Showtells. Hera could get Royal Heirs. I don't know if that's super helpful right now. But yeah, what a fight from Lewis. He's 100 pop right now. Elite Showtell Warrior might be the icing on the cake. The cherry on top for Hera. The Showtells are still going to melt. But there's just too much army here. A really nice comeback attempt here from Lewis. And a nice series. He's a great player. He's a great player. It's unfortunate for Lewis that he had to face Hera in this round because he is really good. He could have beaten a lot of really good names. But yeah, Hera the favorite for a reason. The cool thing about Hera's play is he can go offensive if he needs to flip that switch and play like kind of all in, or he could play very defensive. We've seen both of those things over his reign now. Though if he had a weakness, it would be being too defensive at times, which was maybe what happened in the Incas game, but that's something to learn from. I still think, that was a situation of just denying the Siege Workshop. People in chat, possibly higher percentage of people from the UK, are currently blaming the map. Okay, the map didn't look good for Lewis. Let's be real. It didn't look like he had a lot to work with there. But I also think you have to play the map to an extent, and I think Lewis will regret the second TC. Hera's always all in there. He's always going 1 TC. I think maybe securing your hill here on the front of your base, getting a Siege Workshop, playing 1 TC, your own siege with some skirms, with your monks, just microing it out a little bit longer, then dropping your town centers after you win some fights could have been the play. But easier said than done. I think he wanted to protect what little wood he had, and that's why he played it like that. But that was extremely well played from both. Hera moves on. And Hera's the player to beat right now in the tourney. More wood, more food, more gold, more stone. And Hera will be very happy with that. I also think it'll be good for Hera that he was brought to the limit at times. I don't know if he would agree with it that he was brought to the limit, but I think that's good. You get that feel in the tournament. There's no better practice than that. So, GG.